I'm Lexi, this is Nicole, and this is Henry, and I would like to introduce the Hoosier Hub. So what if I told you that we could eliminate brain drain and bring together students and entrepreneurs through one simple website? Well, we have created a platform to do so, but before I go into explaining what exactly the Hoosier Hub is, I would like to address the problem pains. So these problem pains are experienced by entrepreneurs, universities, and students. The first one is the lack of transparency. So there are all of these events that are out there, but only so many people know that they exist. Another pain is the lack of connectivity, so that has to do with networking. Another big pain is keeping the students who just graduated in Indiana because they leave after they graduate. And then lastly, the fact that Indiana, it's just not a very entrepreneurial state. So now I would like to validate all of the problem pains by using statistics. So 75% of students, they leave Indiana after graduation. And it was actually proven that millennials, they are twice as likely to create a business now compared to the baby boomers. So all these millennials, they are leaving Indiana and then they're creating their businesses elsewhere rather than right here where we want them to stay. Indiana, it actually has one of the worst activity scores in the country compared to the rest of the 50 states, but however, there is potential because Indiana is ranked number 21 of the best states to start a business in. So next, I would like to talk about our primary data. So we spoke to Mr. Lloyd Winnicke. We explained to him what the Hoosier Hub is. He likes the idea. He was enthusiastic about keeping people in Evansville, specifically in the state. But our main clutch is Ron Hackey. We talked to him personally. We told him all about the Hoosier Hub, and he said he liked the idea a lot. I feel like he was even more enthusiastic about it than the mayor. The conversation was a lot longer, and he said that he would be willing to fund it. So, and next I would like to introduce Henry to the Hoosier Hub.
So exactly what is the Hoosier Hub? It's a website that allows students and universities to connect with one another through our website. And so exactly how it works, it's going to be like several entrepreneurial events listed on this that universities are going to help fund to give us money to pay it off and advertise for it. And a lot of these events are going to be kind of like the entrepreneurial events, such as like Startup Week in Evansville, which, if you're not familiar with Startup Week in Evansville, it is a competition where people come in and make business models and hopefully potentially get a startup out of this competition. And the winner receives a prize package where it gives them lots of unique tools to work with to start out their business. So if universities want to advertise these events like this one, we can manage that through the Hoosier Hub and we'll advertise it for them. And this will help basically eliminate the brain drain, increase the transparency and the connectivity amongst everyone in the state of Indiana. And the way we hope to do that is also through our unique features, which is the platform for virtual speakers, which was maybe talk about the success stories that made it through Indiana, so like businesses that just rose up through the state of Indiana. And then also through our open forums, which will allow students and other entrepreneurs to connect with one another and maybe talk about the events or kind of just give feedback and see how they connect and maybe network throughout the website. So the opportunity size, what we found was we saw an article that listed some of the best colleges with the best entrepreneurship resources. Two of the notable ones was Ball State and Butler, and a few others. So what we took from that was that, with this opportunity, we could kind of expand it because these are some prestigious colleges that we have here, and with them, it would kind of help validate the Hoosier Hub a little bit more and creating maybe, like I said, more transparency and maybe more awareness to these events for it. So that's what we kind of went up with the Butler and Ball State. So now another thing we found was there's 10 small business or development centers throughout the state, and maybe not a lot of people know about these development centers. So we think that advertising on our website saying, so if you do want to start up a business or you don't know where to go through, this would be a unique way to go through it, and so they can actually start it up and maybe connect with these people and maybe connect with other users of that website to actually start up their business. And lastly, we found a really weird and unique statistic. 46% of the people, there's like a 46% jump of the people here that believe that or consider themselves as self-employed. So we kind of took that as a message as, well, there's obviously an interest in self-employment and there's an interest maybe in starting up something with them. So we hope to connect with those people and get them into the Hoosier Hub, maybe talk with the other users or students and kind of give them feedback or maybe tips of how to start up their businesses and kind of prosper their life in the entrepreneurship world. now over to Nicole.
All right, so for the service differentiation value, the Hoosier Hub is going to be using a statewide approach, so that's going to help people be connected through the use of forums. This is going to help decrease the problem of people surfing the web for hours looking for events to attend, since all of the events are going to be located centrally on one website. There's a lot of events out there, and now people are going to know about them. A few things we pulled from our value proposition were that, like I said, the Hoosier Hub is going to use a statewide approach, so this is going to create more opportunities for entrepreneurs. It's going to have a very user-friendly base, since all the events on there are going to revolve around entrepreneurial events. The key activities for Hoosier Hub are going to start with creating a platform for the website to run on. Next, we're going to have to continuously manage and update the website with new events and information. And lastly, we're going to have to market the website to our users. The key resources for Hoosier Hub are going to be students, universities, platforms, and events, which leads me into our customer segments. First of all, the mayor is going to find value in Hoosier Hub because it's going to help keep talented people in the state of Indiana. Next, universities are going to find value because it's going to help connect their students using the forums, so this can increase transparency and decrease brain drain. And the end users are going to be the universities, the students, and the entrepreneurs. This leads me into our revenue structure. So our major form of revenue is going to be the universities paying us a fee to advertise their events. And secondly, we'll be bringing in revenue from the virtual talks that we'll be hosting. Over to you, Henry.
So going with our customer channels, we want, obviously our biggest one is definitely our website, because users are going to go to and from the website just to seek information from it. The next, like what we hope from it is it's going to spread through the word of mouth. So therefore, the way we hope this is accomplished, either through conferences with universities, kind of see if they could jump on board with the Hoosier Hub and get more connected with them, or even through social media, because social media does play a huge role in our lives. So we think that social media could actually impact the Hoosier Hub a little bit more in some way, just connecting with others. Looking at our customer relationship, because this is all going to tie in, it's going to allow us to kind of get feedback from these events, because the users will actually have a chance to give feedback on these events, rating the events if it was like really poor or if it was really great, maybe just a little tips of like what to do on there, or where to go. So when we were going to take this and we're going to have universities and us, we might actually even co-create some new content that, say the ones that are poor, maybe we'll just throw those away and kind of make it new and better events for our users. So at the end of the day, they actually get the experience of entrepreneurs and create more connections and maybe we'll have more in transparency and more awareness of these events going on. So the key metrics for this is we're definitely going to need a number of universities involved. We think that the universities are going to be crucial, because if we have the number of universities on our side, we'll definitely have the number of students along with it. With that, we want our page to be really active, so the number of posts and the number of events that go through this website, we got to make sure it's updated and keep refreshing, so this way we have that for them. So as Nicole spoke about the revenue, I want to talk about the cost structure. So we estimated around like 30 to 50,000 to actually just launch the project, and then to manage it year after year, probably around 40 to 60,000. So this way, it's refreshed, updated, ready to go for these users. So because obviously you don't want it to be sitting on a site where it doesn't refresh every few minutes or a few hours or whatever it is. So it's a good way to create more transparency, increase the connectivity, and eliminate brain drain in a total. So I'm going to pass it over to Lexi, who will finally conclude our Hoosier Hub.
All right, so in conclusion, the Hoosier Hub is a simple yet efficient platform that brings students, entrepreneurs, and universities together. Thank you.
All right.